All right, so pros and cons, 2K22. Um, I just did about 2.5 quarters. And we'll start with the pros. All right. And one of the major things that stuck out to me is that the defense so far, seems to be a lot more rewarding. All right. So I noticed in all of the previous 2Ks, let's say if you're between two players, let's say somebody's trying to inbound the ball and you're standing right there and they pass the ball right in front of you. I noticed in the older 2Ks, your timing could be perfect, but the algorithm would not necessarily grant you the steal or the tip just because your timing was perfect. It's like your ability to cut off a pass is still kind of is tamped down, like it's managed. Like you're not just gonna get it just because you got a good interceptor and you know your timing was right. You ain't just gonna get it that way all the time. And this one right here, uh, pretty much every time my timing was correct on cutting off a pass, especially on the inbound, I was at least allowed to tip it. All right. So the defense in that way is a lot more rewarding. Also, uh, in the paint, jumping shot contest, blocking shots. It seems so far before all the patches and shit comes. So far, it seems to be a lot more rewarding. Like they actually care, that you play good defense now. So there's some sort of consequence to your defensive abilities. Now, uh, also before I even go on to the cons, your ability to move around the court, set up plays, dribble, weave in and out. It feels far more fluent. It feels a lot more, or a lot less restricted. All right. Uh, in previous 2Ks, you could be running around doing whatever you're doing. It feels clunky, like you're not just allowed to just make cuts and run around and do your thing just because that's what you're doing. You seem a lot more guided and handled by the algorithm or by the AI. And this one, it feels a lot more looser. All right. It feels a lot more fluid. Like if you're making certain cuts or you're running a direction and you're trying to stop on a dime, go here, go there, it feels like they've actually, to a large degree, they've let go and kind of allowed you to actually get around the court. Now, the cons, computer, as you can see, when you look at these threes and you look at that, matter of fact, you look at that field goal percentage and understand it was a lot worse than that for me before I actually simulated the rest of the game. So their field goal percentage from three was far higher than that. They started to miss later on after I simulated it. But computer does not miss wide open threes. Neither time did they shoot a wide open three did they ever miss it. When I simulated the game, Kyrie Irving was, I believe, 5 for 5 or 6 for 6, one or the other. But he didn't miss. He didn't miss anything from three. It was at least 5 for 5. And the rest of the players, I think Dwayne Daddy was also still 2 for 2. But they don't, like, all the misses you see them make, or all the misses that I've seen them make when I was actually playing, was through defense. None of it was just okay. They was wide open and shot a shot and tricked it, which is more realistic. They don't miss wide open shots, all right, whatsoever. See what else can I tell you? I think that's about it. That's my main gripe so far. Like these motherfuckers, they were just whatever they put up. If there was nobody there, like smothering them. Like you couldn't just close in on them, be slightly late or anything. Like you had to be smothering these motherfuckers in order for them to actually miss a three. Look at Kyrie's field goal percentage. He's 16 for 18. When I was still in the game, he only had missed one time. So the only other shot that he missed after the simulation was that three. Anything else he did, he actually scored it. All right. One more thing, one more pro before I get, cut this one off. The free throw shooting, it seems more realistic. Like you could actually, people actually miss free throws now. Like computer actually does miss free throws. That's something that kind of, I'm like, okay, now that makes more sense. Because I can recall 21 or any 2K before that, it doesn't matter really whose computer was shooting a free throw from, unless it was like Drummond or Shaq, and even then sometimes they'll drop it all. They'll make all of them. But anybody else that could just barely shoot free throws, they was going to make 100% of them. All right? They actually miss free throws. So it seems like they've taken certain things into account when they crafted this game. We all know how 2K's algorithm and AI work. I don't even want to get into how cheating it is in this video right here, because we all know how that goes. All right, I just want to touch on some of the things that I noticed so far that seems a bit different. But anyway, peace.